President have returned with a brand new single, and it's called Dark Heaven. I am rather excited. I get very excited every single time that I see President release stuff. I've just been really enjoying following this journey from there, like, you know, really mysterious announcement to all this sort of like speculation as to who was behind the masks, which obviously I think we probably do know now. In the sake of keeping everything fun, I'm going to continue to refer to him as the President. I like buying into all the lore and stuff like that. And that first EP, which was excellent, and now we are building up to Blood of Your Empire, which is coming out on the 4th of September, so it's like, what, 34 days after, from the recording of this video. So this is the 4th single. So we started with Angel Wings, which I loved, actually. In fact, I've liked every release. I mean, I've liked every song that they've released so far, to be fair, but Angel Wings was great. And interestingly, I thought when Angel Wings came out, listening to that one and Mercy kind of reinforced this theory to me, that they were actually getting a little heavier, that we're going to lean more into the metal, and kind of like there was less vocal effects going on, because in the first release, a lot of the songs had quite a lot of vocal effects and, you know, electronic synth stuff, which was fine, but I think the vocal effects were a little bit polarizing. He was definitely using like a kind of octave thing in it that was giving it this kind of like weird, distorted, like the high kind of digital sound to it. I think a lot of people incorrectly called it auto-tune. I don't think it was that. I think it was a stylistic thing, but still. It's not really that present in Angel Wings or Mercy, and actually, I felt like the electronica side of things, the part of that kind of fusion sound they have, was less present in those two, and I was of mixed minds because I quite liked it, actually. I thought that it kind of gave them character and separated them from the pact, but I also can't help but say that those songs are really, really good. But then that entire theory got thrown out the window when they released Doom Loop, which I also really, really like. All of these songs have got very catchy choruses, especially Angel Wings and Doom Loop. The thing is, Doom Loop was in fact extremely reliant on electronica stuff, and there was a lot of vocal effects going on again, but, you know, I actually really like that, and it kind of confirmed that they are kind of continuing to have that kind of balance. I think in King of Terrors, there was also a fairly even split between songs that were more traditionally rock and metal-y versus the ones that were a bit more experimental, a bit more hip-hop influenced. And that was cool. And actually looking at the track listing now, I can see that there is a featuring from Ando San, so that'll be their first ever featuring, which is really interesting. I've not heard of this gentleman before, but I did have a quick listen to the top song he's got on Spotify. So it seems like he's a rapper who has like a very complicated, like almost Polyphia-esque sort of backing track to it, a beat. In fact, I'm sure there are people in the audience who actually know who Ando San is, so please let me know kind of what your thoughts are on him, because I'm actually really curious now. So I guess he's probably going to do a rap verse or a featuring or something like that on this one, which is pretty cool. So anyway, we now have Dark Heaven, the 4th track to be released. I'm wondering if we're going to get another one. My bet would be probably not. I think maybe they'll probably put out a music video with the album. And talking of the music videos, I've also noticed that I feel like this release cycle, this album cycle, there's been like a noticeable increase in like production value. I was going to say quality, not necessarily, because the music videos for the first release were pretty good, but like smaller in scale. But the sets, the costumes, the sort of largeness of it all, it seems way more ambitious. There's more locations, there's more angles, which is cool. It's nice to see that maybe after the concept was proven and they've clearly built up a fan base quite quickly, that, you know, maybe record labels are willing to throw more money at it, or indeed maybe the president himself is throwing a little money at it, because from what I understand, a lot of, if not all of the first EP was mostly self-funded. We do have a quote about this song. The band said, "Dark Heaven is a reflection on the contradictions of faith." There's that faith again. He loves religious imagery. And how something intended to unite humanity has so often been used to justify division, violence, and power. Don't disagree with that take. It's about the way greed can wear the mask of righteousness. It isn't an attack on belief itself. Okay, yeah. It's about searching for something real beneath the noise and asking what remains when certainty begins to crumble. Okay, the second half of that kind of turned into a little word salady, but you know what? Honestly, I pretty think he's quite on the nose with some of his takes on that one. I'm, again, not anti-religion at all, but don't like it when it's used for bad things. It happens quite a lot. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to watch this for the first time. I'm going to pause, I'm going to cut through, skip around, and sort of like point out anything that I find interesting to analyze and break down, that kind of stuff, try and figure out how this song is making me feel and why. So if you do want to see the song entirely uninterrupted, because I am going to pause it quite a lot, the link is in the description, so go and watch that, come back, and together we can figure out what exactly makes this song tick. So, let's jump into it and listen to Dark Heaven. It's very typical of them, I think, with these sort of like grainy, sort of like lo-fi feel to it. People looking at, is it retro horror? I don't know. Interesting. I think I did see somewhere that this was fans reacting. Oh, okay. I was right. That's an interesting gimmick. God, wouldn't that be awesome? Oh, they did one-on-one as well. That's kind of intense. I wonder if that's actually like, you know, the right guy behind the mask, whether it's some other person wearing the costume. But God, I mean, as a fan of this band, can you imagine being selected for this and getting to go into this creepy location and have him just stand and watch you and you just sit in a chair and listen to this new song? What an awesome concept. Great setting. They picked a great location. Oh. Okay. Is that a saxophone I can hear? God, I was not expecting that. Just straight away, that very, very early dunk, 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 dunk. Like, this is going to get heavy, and it does have this kind of like dunk, dunk. It's got a very sort of like forceful kind of push to it. But if that's not a saxophone, it's a tone that sounds kind of like one. I know it's an easy comparison to make, but it makes me feel a little bit ghosty. It's kind of got like a little sleaze to it. Oh, I'm digging that. No. Okay, I'm actually pretty sure that's not a saxophone. I think that might just be a synth that's doing something that sounds a bit saxophone-y. No, okay, it's definitely not. I'm such a twat. Ooh. Okay, so he is, again, now completely doubling down. I mean, it's rap in the way that it's kind of rhythmic speaking, but it's not like he's going crazy, but he's definitely doing some like kind of rap tropes in his delivery, which is interesting. I mean, he's only done that once or twice across all of their catalogs so far. Have everything drop out after such a big, hectic intro. I mean, it's very of its genre, of its type, right? But I like it. He's got good flow to him. Okay. Oh, this guy likes it. Okay. Oh. I really like his sort of like shouty voice there. I mean, that was also one of the most pure versions that I think I've ever heard. There was barely any effects on it. I know maybe it doesn't have anything to play off because it was completely on its own, but I think there was no distortion, barely any reverb or anything like that. I just really like his voice. He just has this really amazing, tangible grit to it that I really like. And I'm going to come back in with this big wall of sound, synth-heavy, chug-chug metal riff. Honor. Imagine if you didn't like it. Get to sit in, you're just like without any having to fake it, and it's just like the president's just like. Ooh. Okay, that's a really nice, dense sound. I mean, it is very much typical of President in the way that it kind of like went into this like shouty stuff. But again, as I said, I really like that tone of voice. There was a couple of really juicy little, quite down-mixed synth parts in the background there, just kind of like moving around. The tones that has been selected for this are really, really great. They're kind of not necessarily what you'd expect for the sort of tones that you would combine with this kind of music, which I guess is, you know, part of President's appeal. But I really like that. In fact, most of the songs you hear from them, the tones are quite different. They have a certain sound, of course, but like the specific tones and the things that are carrying those riffs are quite unique to each song. If you compare that to like the intro to Rage, for example, you've got this kind of like vocally sounding thing, the ba 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 ba. Compare that to this, it's very different, but it's still of a sound. I do like the chorus. It does so far feel a little bit kind of typical. We'll see whether or not it kind of like grows on me or it develops in a certain way. I think I'm probably halfway through it right now, so we'll see whether it develops in a way. Okay. Ooh. This is genuinely one of the stranger President songs. I mean, I'm here for it, to be fair, but the weird sections in it. Second half of the chorus was still pretty good. I like the dark, dark heaven, like, kind of like motif. I think that's going to get lodged in my brain. It's something that's going to be easy to sing along with live. And then to come out into this, like, almost retro-sounding synth line. Again, like, a different tone again, or maybe that's the same one that's been quietly mixed in the chorus as well. But it really changes the feel. Like, each section, it feels very distinct. Ooh. Okay. Kind of, again, typical for President, but in a good way. We've now come back to this verse, and now it's the same, the sort of like synth line is the same, I believe, and now we've got full metal drum. Sorry, there was a fly in this room, it's driving me nuts. It's got, you know, like a full kind of like slightly progressive sort of like alternative metal drum line going over this verse now, which is kind of really interesting because it works very well like this too, and it kind of changes the genre despite that being the only new element. I like it. Oh, that drummer knows what he's doing. The way that he whips around that kit before he gets to that chorus is extremely nice and very tight. That dropout section again is actually really, really impactful. The way it comes out of that section and just lets him go completely raw for a second with just a little bit of kind of like, I think probably electric drums in the background there, and then kicking into this like big, heavy wall of sound chorus. It's a really clever way of transitioning out of those more stripped back rap bass verses. The harmonies are very well placed. They're not everywhere, but the phrases he chooses to emphasize and add the extra layer to are very well selected. They sit nicely at moments when there's maybe less going on. There's not a drum fill happening at that exact moment. The harmonies are tight. Honestly, the higher he shouts, the more I like it. So there's little moments where he just like highlights those lines that just, they're very, very satisfying to listen to. God damn, he's so creepy. Okay. Ooh. Wow, this one has definitely been a bit of a showcase for the drummer. I mean, I feel like I read somewhere that the president recorded or at least wrote all of the lines, at least for the first cycle. I wonder whether or not that's the case now or not. But again, that transition out of this chorus was completely different to the one beforehand. Last time we had a kind of retro synth line. This one was way more gritty. It was just like stabbing guitar in a power chords with a really, really nice drum line sort of like sprinkled through it. Ooh. Okay. Yeah. It's interesting, the screaming sections never last long. It's just the occasional phrase. I think making them rarer makes them feel more important when they do happen, though, which is a good thing. Ooh. Oh, that's a big note as well. The passion that he manages to get through and convey in those shouted moments are so tangible. You can feel the genuine angst coming through. It wouldn't work otherwise. Nice. Yeah, again, that's a really nice way to transition into that chorus. It's just the way that he manages to move these sections together and kind of vary it every time. Like you get repeated verses and choruses and pre-choruses, but they're all subtly different and weave together in such a masterful way. Okay. And I get that. Do you think that's actually him saying honor? It's kind of hard to tell. It doesn't sound like his tone of voice. I'm wondering whether or not that's another cheeky little cameo from, what's his face, Ando-san or not. Goodbye. Okay, well, yet again, President have completely defied my expectations. I think I get their number. I think I know what I'm about to walk into, and I'm wrong, like, every time. It's awesome. I love how fresh they keep this stuff. It's truly experimental, which I know can sometimes be a little bit of a wanky buzzword to say, but I really do think I mean that. It's experimental in a way that you don't hear all that often. I know that it's not innovative in itself to blend sort of hip-hop electronica with sort of like alternative metal. It's been done before. Look at Sleep Token. It's a very easy comparison to make. But I feel like the way that he executes that, the way he takes different aspects of all of these, these two main kind of genres and blends them together, it's quite unique actually, and it's different. Every time he does it, it's different. He keeps things fresh. I really like it. Like that first verse, I'm not sure if I would have wanted an entire song to have that very, very hip-hop inspired verse, but the second time it came back, it had a metal drum sound behind it now. Awesome. I love that. The choruses are catchy. His passionate voice is something else. It just gets my goosebumps raised. I feel like when I go to see them live, I'm going to lose my mind and probably my voice. Yeah, I don't know. There's something tangible and fun and interesting. It feels genuine, which definitely ties into multiple interviews I've seen with the president where he's sort of said how having the mask has allowed him to feel like he's expressing more deep and intimate stuff. He's being more real because it's like separated from him as a character. He's able to channel it through, and I think that's genuinely tangible through this music. It does sound a little bit like some of the other projects he's been involved with, but only in ways. It's just like a lot of influence has been pulled together, which I really, really like. Also, the music video was interesting. to say disappointed isn't the right word. I'm a big fan of the aesthetic. So again, like, it was really nicely shot. It was a cool concept. I did like that. If you're gonna do a sort of slightly less conceptual, more, it's not even a performance one, you know what I mean? It's sort of like almost a reaction, I guess, kind of video. It's a very, very, very good one of those. I still like the cinematography. There's lots of him like doing the weird toothy smile and disappearing out of windows and doing the peace sign and all that, and you know, they picked an interesting set of people to have on camera to listen to the first time. I wonder how many other ones they had, and they just like, you weren't happy enough, so you don't get to be in a video anymore. Someone else is like, I didn't like it, and they're like, good out. The thing is, I liked the sort of more high concept, creepier, budgety, sort of story-ish. Like, I feel like I have heard the president talk about, and again in interviews, that he is interested in trying to actually expand a proper lore. It's not just a dude in a mask. You're going to create a character of the president, right, and kind of extrapolate out. But I'm probably just being a little impatient, because I'm treating them like they're at the same point in their career as somebody like Ghost, who's got, you know, their second film is on the way, and they've got all these myriad of characters and short films and stuff. You know, I can't expect that from them this soon, but I do like the videos where that is something that is expanded upon more. So, you know, I'm hoping that the final release, maybe they're saving, this is the cheaper one, you know, realistically, what was this, one location for a day, they probably paid a couple of people 100 quid to come and sit in a church and listen to a song and let them be filmed, right? And other than that, it's just B-roll. So I can't imagine that video was particularly expensive to film. So I'm hoping that means that there was some budget left over, so we can have something more explosive and interesting and sort of revelatory. God, do you remember when they had the release of Fearless music video, and at the very end they had the old bait and switch of somebody pull a mask off, and it was obviously not the guy we all think it is, right? That stuff, I like that theatricality. So hopefully that comes back. But I do like the song a lot. I'm definitely going to stick it on. It's going to, every single time President releases a song, it re-triggers my obsession. So now my poor girlfriend is going to have to listen to a lot of President for the next couple of weeks, and then I'll move on to something else for a minute, and then the album's going to come out, and it's all going to happen again, but on a larger scale. Anyway, I have been rambling for a while, so hopefully you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think of this song? Do you like the direction? Do you think that he's being as experimental, is a good thing or not? Let me know in the comments. Other than that, if you did like the video, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It is excellent and helps to grow, which is good. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.